Hello guys, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to make this scene in Godot 4. We are walking down the street and a crazy monk approached to us and asked us, "Do you believe in God?" If you hit no, he will tell you to burn in hell. If you hit yes, he will be happy. And if you hit the right click button, he will say, "Okay, that was unexpected." So first, we are going to do some exercise to learn the basic of the signal by code and built in. And then I will challenge you to make this scene. Let's go. So I'm in the Godot website and they have made a pre-release 4.0 beta 17. Okay, let's move to, if you want to read it, it's fine, and let's move to jump to the download section, and here we just click the standard build. Okay, in the standard build, let's just wait to open, and I choose this one. Okay, so I'm downloading this version Windows 64 because it's my current system. You just download the one that fits you with your system, and we are ready to go. Let's see some configurations that I made for the project that if you want, you can also do it. Let's go first to the project settings, and in the project settings, go to the viewport, width and height, and look that I write like 640 by 360. We don't need a bigger screen. Okay, then we close this and let's move to the editor settings. As you can see, I have a default skin for the default theme for Godot, and if you want, you can use these colors if you want the same appearance, or you can make yours, or just go to one that is in default in the preset. Okay, then very important thing is go to the text editor, and in the text editor let's move to completion. Okay, here you can see the code complete delay. I just make it smaller, and then I put it add type hints on because it's very good when you are coding and you need to see what type of function is and if it returns something or not. So I advise you to turn it on. Okay, with this we are ready to go. In this first exercise, I want you to create a scene with a button type, then create a script, and inside of the script you need to connect this signal on press. It's a built-in signal. Then just print and write this string or whatever the string you want, and create a main scene, instantiate the button, and when we hit play to the main scene, in the output should be appear the print, as you can see. Okay, the solution will be displayed in the next section. Okay, so let's start with the exercise. Let's create a scene. Let's jump to other node and write button. Okay, let's double click in button, and then let's just write, for example, we have here the button. Let's write emit signal from main scene. Okay, and at the moment is okay. We don't need, let's just save it to, for example, let's just create a new folder called scenes. Okay, and let's just write button here. Okay, okay, so we have the button ready. Then let's create a script. Let's attach a script here that is will be called button, and for example, we can make this path, but I like to make things in order. So click in the folder and let's go up and let's just, for example, write scripts. Okay, so in this one will be create the button. This will be appear, and at the moment we don't need any of them, but what we really need is to go to node in the here in the button scene, and then we need to connect the signal that is press, button press. Okay, we connect it with the owner, with the proper button, with the button, and then here, and rewrite button press in the main scene, or as you want. We can just take this out. Okay, button press in the main scene. We control save it, and then let's create a new scene. Okay, because we have the button scene, but we need the main scene. So let's just create a node 2D, and here let's create the main scene. Okay, so in the main scene, let's control save it, and let's put this in uppercase, and let's save it in the scene. Is okay. And then in the main scene, let's go to 2D, and here let's instantiate the button. Okay, scene button. Then W, and let's move it here, for example, and let's run the scene. They will ask you if you want to this be the main scene, and let's click select current, and then when we click OK, we have the button press in the main scene. Try to do in the next exercise a main scene, the same that we have before, with a node 2D button. Okay, you can call it button. In the scene, when I click left mouse button, I emit a signal from the button node. Okay, if you don't know how to do it in Godot 4, we are going to see the solution in the next section. Okay, so here we have the last exercise. Let's jump to the scene where the button is located, and let's go to the script, and let's write node 2D. So we change the type here. We also change the type to a generalistic node 2D. Okay, now that we have changed, we don't need to do that if you don't want to. Okay, but we don't going to use the button signal anymore. Okay, so we don't need to have a button type. So now let's create a signal call for example left click pressed. Okay, this will be the signal. We save it. So in the main scene, let's attach a script that it will call main scene, and the path will be the one that we store all the scripts. Okay, then we erase everything, and first we need to call the node button. Okay, so in Godot 4 we have a different way to call the onReady bar. Okay, you need to put this sign, and then it will have the onReady. Okay, if you for example write like we used to do in Godot 3, it won't be recognized. Okay, so keep in mind that. So we need to do like this. So onReady bar, let's call it button, but we don't need to call it like that, but it's okay. Button node, and this with type we are talking about a node 2D. Node 2D. Okay, and this will be equal to, we put the $sign, and this will be equal to the button. Okay, so this is the way that we get this node. Then let's just make the funcReady function. Okay, and in the ready function we are going to connect. Okay, let's see two ways to connect in Godot 4. The first one, we can write the name of the node, then we type connect, and then we need to put the name of the signal, that is, if I don't forget it, button left, right? It was left mouse. Okay, I forgot it. Let's see in a moment. Left click press. Let's just copy this and see if it's appeared or not. Okay, left click. So we put in the string. Yes. Okay, we put it in the string, put it like this. Okay, and then we need to call the function. Let's create a function that it will be called left mouse pressed. Okay, and this function we create here because we are connecting in the ready function with this method. Okay, at the moment we pass and see what happened. Okay, everything seems fine. And there is another way to connect in Godot 4 that is like very interesting, very different. Let me explain first this one. We take the node, then we say connect the signal that we have created in the script, in the button script, and then we connect it with a function that is here. Okay? In Godot 4 we have another way that is we again write the node, then we type the signal, left, let's put left click press, we type the signal, and then we call connects, and we connect it with the function that we have created. Okay, so these are two ways of doing. Let's if you want to see if it works or not, let's try one and then the other one, and we see if it works or not. Okay, this is the new way in Godot 4, and this is the old way. But as you can see, we don't need to put any more the self that we used to write here, right? Okay, now we have this connected to the function, and then in the left mouse pressed, we just need to put print, for example, left mouse pressed. Okay. Then we have this connected, but we need to put it in. We don't have the input from the mouse. Okay, so let's use a very important function in Godot that is called unhandled input. Okay, why I'm not using input or another one? Because this is the one that it used to put the input of the player. Okay, because when you hit pause, okay, and you don't have the controls and unhandled input, for example, if you start to move the arrows, the player will move. Okay, so with unhandled input there will be a difference between the control nodes and the control of the player. So it's more convenient always when we are talking about controls of the game that doesn't refer to the menu or the UI. We used to write here. It's very convenient. Okay, and then listen to this and take a look at this because it's very interesting. So remember that we have an argument that is called event. So we put if event is input mouse button. Okay, then we need to write another thing. If we are going to do it that way, and you will see why. If input is action, sorry, I'm looking to the if inputs, but need to be, let's write it well. If input is action just press, okay, we need to put mouse left click. Okay, and we don't have this we don't have this set it, so we need to set. Okay, at the moment let's just write past, and let's write this here. Okay, so let's go to the project settings, and in input we are going to add a new action that it will be called the same as this. Okay, mouse, so we just put mouse left click. Okay, and this we hit the plus button and let's go to left mouse. Okay, so now we have mouse left click, that is the same than this one. And now we can put button node dot emit signal, and then we emit the signal that we wanted to left, that it was like left click. Okay, left click pressed, and that is what we want to connect the signals and have all this setup. Why I'm using input if we have using input event mouse? Try it by yourself. Okay, try to use input event mouse button, and you will realize that when you just if we go to, let's go to the documentation. Okay, for example, if you use button index or is press, okay, is press, for example, if you use this kind of things, you will realize that when we hit the mouse button, it will be triggered twice. Okay, so this will be a problem. We don't want to be triggered twice, we want to be triggered once. Okay, let's see how it works right now. So as you can see, when we press left click, we have the signal connect. Okay, and now let's try changing the way of connecting. So we put this like a text and we show this one. Let's see if it works also, and if we hit the same results. Okay, so as you can see, it's very interesting how Godot managed the signals, the way to make the signals that have not totally changed but partially changed from Godot 3.0. Okay, okay guys, just let me tell you something about this function that we have created. I think it will be better if you put it in the button node. Okay, the only thing that you need to change is the button node. You don't need to call it, just emit the signal inside, so it will be without the button node, without the dots, only the emit signal, and it will have the same effect. Okay, I just make it here. It has the same function, the same, but in the next exercise you will see that I do it inside of the node. Okay, so keep in mind that, please. Okay, so let's go for the challenge. First, let's see what we have in the default scene. We have a main scene with a script, then a color rect for the black background, then we have the text, okay, and the button yes or no. For beginners, what do you need to do? You need to send a signal from the button no to the main scene, and from the button yes, from this node to the main scene. Okay, then I want, when I hit right click in the scene, I want also to make a signal, okay, that will have another answer. Okay, it will be this node, right click button. So you need to attach here, okay, in the main scene, and send a signal to the main scene. Remember in the right click button to put the function and handle input event. Okay, another thing that you need to be aware of is that in the main scene the control node covers all the screen. Okay, so go to mouse button and put the filter to pass. Okay, why? Because when we hit, if we hit right click here and we have the filter of the mouse to put it in stop, the input will not be received. Okay, so we need to pass the information, and in this way, if we hit right click here, it will be, the input will be recognizable. Okay, will be recognized. So something more for the, oh yes, if we go to this script, okay, we have some code that you need to, with Control K, okay, you need to put this code in the different functions. For example, let's go to the finish project. Okay, for example, I here have the on button press yes, and I just copy this lines of codes, okay, that are here. So you just need to copy and you will have the answer because the node is referenced here. Okay, so you only need to, when you connect, the only thing that you need to do is to, in each function, you need to put these lines of code. This is something that we will cover in the future. Okay, and for the intermediate we are going a little bit further, and what I want you first to, when the scene start, okay, I want you the default monk attached in the monk sprite. Okay, you need to create a monk sprite and it needs to be empty, and you need by code, when the function ready of the main scene start, you need to create the this image to appear like so. Okay, as you can see. Then I want you to put this audio stream music, okay, make it a loop, okay, and also when there is like different answers, I want to attach like different images for the monk. Okay, so not only the text, also the image. So this is, as you can see, more difficult. Okay, so you can watch the beginner and intermediate solution in the next section. Okay, so let's start. Here we have the main scene, button yes and button no. Let's begin with the button yes. Let's go to node, and here let's emit the signal press, and we are going to emit that signal in the main scene that has attached a script. Okay, so we hit connect, and then we look at this, put this code in the yes answer function. So we just Control X and then Control B, and we just show these buttons. Okay, so with this done, let's do the same with the button no. Okay, and let's also hit press and connect it with the main scene, and we do the same. Control X and Control B, and we unhide, transform this to code. Okay, okay, so now we have the button yes and no. We save it, we just erase, delete this. Okay, and let's see if the things are going well or not. About this, we select the main scene, select current, and let's see what happened. If we hit no, burn in hell. If we click in yes, you are a good guy. Okay, so things are working well as expected. Okay, so now in the main scene, let's go to right click button, and here let's attach a script called right click button, and let's put it in the script folder. Okay, great. So let's create it, and first we'll need to create a signal called right click button, and then we need to use the func unhandle input event. Okay, Remember that this is the function that we use for the input of the player. Okay, so here we are going to say, because we have an argument called event, if event is input event mouse let's write it mouse button. Okay, if this is this input, then we say if input dot is action just press, and we need to create right click. Okay, then emit the signal that is called right click button. Okay, emit that signal. So we need to unterminated string. Okay, we need just to take this. So we need to call and make this right click. So let's go to project settings, and in project settings let's go to input and add a new action. Let's copy the name and let's go again, and here we add this new action. We added right click and we hit plus mouse buttons, right mouse button. Okay, and now it's settled. Okay, so with this, if we hit right click, we will have this settled. Now that we have this already done, let's go to let's go to main scene, and in the main scene let's instance this node right click button. Okay, so we have an instance, but we don't want to instance from the button. No, we want to instance from the main scene. Okay, so now we have instance, and then let's go to the main scene and call this node. So we put on ready. I think we can do, if I don't forget to do like this, right, to drag it like this, but I think we can do it with control. Maybe we hit control on this one. No, shift on this one. Okay, no. I think in Godot 3 we have this. Maybe I forget. Okay, so let's just copy the name because I don't want to make mistakes because my typing is horrible. And node to D. Okay, and now we can do it. Okay, so we grab it and take it. Okay, now that we have the right click button, we just need to create a function. Okay, so we go to the func ready, ready, and here is where we are going to connect. Okay, so we just copy this node and say right click and button node connect. Then we just say what signal do you want to connect, that it will be the right click button, signal. Okay, yes, the signal, and then just put here. Okay, and then we need to call the function that it will be on right mouse click. Okay, so now it's not declared, so we need to declare it. Okay, so let's just create the function func on right mouse click and pass. Okay, let's save it, and now it's good to go. So then we just need to do the same that we did before. This is for the BB code. Okay, we are going to have another tutorial about BB code because I think it's very interesting and it gives you plenty of options about text functions. Okay, so it seems that we have done this. Let's check if the node has the input mouse. Okay, let me see. Mouse, yes, it has set it to pass. Okay, because in this way we can just set the input, and let's see if we hit right click, nothing happens. Why is that? What is, maybe let's see if all the things are passed, if everything is connected. Let me see. So I'm glad that this happened, this problem happened, because I remember when I was learning, like when I was at like totally a beginner, just hours in Godot, it took me like even days to understand what was happening, until I realized that in the control node, for example, in the main scene that covers all the screen, okay, remember that has to pass, but also color rect is covering all the scene. So bear in mind that you also need to set the mouse to pass. Okay, in this way, if we click the right click, okay, we have the message. If we hit no and yes, so everything is working fine. So guys, this is for the beginner level. We have finished the exercise, and then we are going to move to the advanced, okay, advanced tutorial. If you want to just stop here, is okay. If you want to learn a little bit more of how to make this video game sim, let's continue in the next section. Okay, now for the advanced intermediate tutorial. Remember that we have these images, okay, and we need to use it for the when we hit no, yes, or right click, we need to change the image of the monk. Okay, so first let's create a new scene. It will be, let's change this, it will be a sprite. Okay, it will be a sprite 2D, and we are going to attach a script for the sprite 2D. This we are going to call it, for example, monk sprite. Okay, and let's attach a script. Remember to put it in the script scene. Okay, and yes, now we just need to create a simple function called change image. Okay, and we will have an argument called set image. Then we just want to, from this sprite, we're going to take the texture and load the set image that we are going to put. Okay, so we save this scene in the scenes folder, and it will be called monk sprite. We'll save it. Okay, so now we have the sprite 2D scene ready. Next we are going to instantiate the scene. Will be monk sprite. Okay, so at the moment it's working. And now first in the main scene script, let's first call the on ready bar, let's first call the monk to the sprite. Let's call it, for example, monk sprite, the same, and this will be sprite 2D. Okay, no animated sprite, sprite 2D. Okay, and then we just take this node. Okay, and now that we have this node, this is something that is very interesting. What we are going to do is to just write this node, and then we call the function that is called change image. Okay, if I'm not wrong, change image. Let's copy because I don't want mistakes. Okay, and now if the button press is yes, we have a happy monk. Okay, so we just take this. Okay, let me see if I load the, yes, I load the texture. Okay, then we copy the same for when he said no, and we do the same when he we say no, he just get angry. So we just put the angry image. And then we do the same when, for example, he gets right click and unexpected, so we have the doubtful monk. Okay, and in the ready function we can do this just by putting in this node, right? In the texture we can put it, but let's do it by code. And yes, let's do again the same thing. And remember that we need the default monk, okay, when the function start, when the scene start. Okay, and now let's see if it's working. Okay, we need to put this in better position. Let's see what is happening here. Yes, this should be like, let's move it a little bit, for example, like this maybe, and see how it's working now. Maybe it's too big. Let's scale it. Scale. It will be offset. No. Animation. Material. Transform. Yes. 0.5. Okay. Let's see now if it's working or not. It's not working. Let's just do the changes needed. Let's see now. Okay, let's make it bigger. He's just taking this part, so let's move the button nose and yes a little bit down. Okay, and the monk will be also a little bit down. Let's see if now it's working well. Okay, it's good enough, right? We just need to a little bit down. Okay, more down. Let's put 2. Okay, now it's good enough. So let's see, for example, we hit no. Okay, he changed. If we hit yes, and if we hit right. Okay, and now we need to just add the music. Okay, so let's go to the main scene, Shift A, and go to the audio stream player. It's okay if we just do like this, but something that people ask is, okay, how can I make this always working, right? Like a looping. So you need to put here loop enable, okay? It was enabled before. So you just click to loop because it won't appear here. Okay, so you are saying that this music should be looping. And now let's see. Let's see autoplay on and nothing more. Okay, so if we hit play, it should be working. If I'm not wrong. Okay, we need to put the music for sure here, right? Okay, let's save it. And now, okay, we hit no. Okay, burning hell, you're a good guy, and that was unexpected, and we have the music. Okay, so this is working well. So guys, thank you for following this tutorial. If you have made by yourself, congratulations. Okay, because it's a good practice. If not, don't worry, this is like day-by-day practice, so just keep going. And yeah, this is the secret of managing Godot and all the GTscript. Okay, so thank you a lot for following this tutorial, and if you like it, don't forget, a thumbs up helps to other people to reach to this channel, and a comment also helps a lot to the algorithm of YouTube to spread this video, okay, if you think it was useful for you. So thank you guys, and see you in the next one.